Right, we're back here on the GSMC Baseball Podcast, bringing you our second segment, which is going to be talking about the NL games of yesterday and recapping them. But before we do that, I would like to ask you again to please like and follow the show. We do get a number of questions from viewers, so to ensure that your question does get read on the air, please use the link gsmcpodcast.net. It really does help the show, and it really does mean a lot. So thank you so much for that, and let's get back into the show today. All right, so we're going to be talking about the NL games of yesterday and just recapping them and what happened. We'll also be doing that. We'll also be doing one game of today because a game did finish before my stream, which is unlikely, does not really ever happen, but it was a very early game, and they will also be playing again today, the Mets, so we'll see what happens with that, and we'll see if they can do anything good at all, or if not, because this franchise is cursed, and it can never have anything good to happen to them. All right, so first game we'll be talking about is going to be, sorry about that. The first game we'll be talking about is going to be Yankees Diamondbacks. Now, I meant to recap this one with the AL, NL, but there weren't that many NL games today, so I wanted to give it to the NL, even though the AL team did win. Spoiler alert, sorry, but there we go. All right, so in the bottom of the second here, Blaze Alexander hit a solo home run to open up the scoring for Arizona early in the game. Nice job to capitalize off Nestor Cortez. Top of the fourth, Aaron Judge hit his long-awaited first home run of the season, making it 2-1 Yankees. So scoring Juan Soto, I'm sure we'll see a lot of that in the season. Aaron Judge homering to score Juan Soto. So new dynamic duo in baseball, and I'm sure all Yankees fans are going to be very excited. Ketel Marte then would tie the game up in the bottom of the fifth, hitting his first home run of the season, making it 2-2 in the game. So nice job by Marte to answer back here. Top 10 now, no scoring since then. We have Alex Verdugo on the first pitch he sees in extra innings, hitting a 2-run home run, scoring Anthony Volpe, making the game 4-2 Yankees. Bottom of the 10th now, the Diamondbacks start to fight back after Geraldo Perdomo would reach on a fielding error by Anthony Volpe. Jorge Barroso scores, and Geraldo Perdomo will go to second. So 4-3 now here with a man on second. Corbin Carroll would then hit a RBI single, knocking in Jake McCarthy, tying up the game at 4-4. So a big blow by the Yankees there to not win the game, but it would all be okay, as in the top of the 11th, Juan Soto will be up to bat, and the pitcher would balk to score John Birdie. So losing the game off a balk would not be the best scenario, I'd say. Aaron Judge would then double to make it 6-4 Yankees, and that would be all she wrote, as the Diamondbacks would hit an RBI single in the bottom of the 11th, but would squander any other opportunity to score. So a nice win by the Yankees here, still 6-1. Diamondbacks are an amazing team, in my opinion. I've talked about it all the time. So I think a really strong win by the Yankees, and man, have they been impressive these early games. Wow. Merrill Kelly went for the Diamondbacks, was ace-like, 7 innings pitched, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts, under 2 ERA this season. I think Merrill Kelly is honestly the most underrated player in baseball. I think he's just such a talented pitcher, such a talented player that most people don't know because he plays for the Diamondbacks, and he was in baseball for a little while. He was in MLB for a while, going over to Japan to play. So I think he's honestly one of the most underrated players in baseball. And if you don't know how good Merrill Kelly is, you're going to find out soon. He's been really, really good for the Diamondbacks since coming over from overseas. And yeah, definitely been an amazing pitcher for them. For the Yankees, they had Nestor Cortez going. Sorry, they had Carlos Rodon going. I don't know why I said Cortez before then. Ignore that. I think that was yesterday they had him. He went 5 1/3 innings pitched, 7 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, 2 homers. A lot less strikeouts for starting pitchers I've noticed so far early in the season. I don't really know why that is, but yeah, so an okay starting by Rodon. I mean, the Diamondbacks have a great offense, so I'm not going to hold it against him too much. Obviously, you'd like to see him be better, but it wasn't horrible. So again, it's not something that I'm going to really hold against him a lot. So yeah. Next game we'll be talking about for the NL is going to be Reds-Phillies. This series has been very exciting so far. We've had grand slams in back-to-back games. Will we see one this game? Let's find out. So in the top of the third here, Christian Encarnacion Strand would open up the scoring for the Reds, scoring Jonathan India and Nick Martini to make it 2-0 Reds in the top of the third. After that, we would then have Ellie De La Cruz hitting an RBI double to make a 3-0 Cincinnati. Then Kyle Schwarber would try to get the Phillies back in the game with a solo home run, his second of the year, making it 3-1. But the Reds would then add on in the top of the ninth with some insurance runs from Nick Martini, who's been extremely impressive this season, kind of out of nowhere, filling in for injuries, and hit an RBI single to make it 4-1 Reds, and that is where the game would end. So a really nice job by the Reds offense to score, and a really nice job by the Reds pitching to hold this dangerous Phillies lineup to only one run. For the Phillies pitching, they had Zach Wheeler on the mound. He was okay. That's really all I can say about this start. 6 innings pitched, three runs, 1 earned run though, 10 strikeouts. So it was okay because the 10 strikeouts are amazing. Only 1 run is only 1 earned run is good, but still 3 runs. Not really his fault, so you can't really blame him that much. But 10 strikeouts is honestly incredible. Even in his not great start, Zach Wheeler is still an amazing pitcher and amazing player. So yeah, definitely great start there, even though he did get unlucky. So going to the Reds here, they had Frankie Montas on the mound, who went 5 2/3, giving up 5 hits, 1 earned run, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts. Has had an amazing start to the season so far with the Reds. I thought it was a really strong signing in the offseason. I talked about it a few times, and he's proven my thought process right now. I mean, he's been so effective with the Reds. If I was a Reds fan, I'd be so excited with what's happening right now with Montas, and he's been pitching really, really well. And if their pitching continues to pitch like this, I think they're going to be really dangerous come playoff time. Next game we'll be talking about is going to be Cardinals-Padres. A very exciting series as well so far. Going into, excuse me, let me get this here, sorry. All right, so first scoring we're going to be having here, we'll be moving into the bottom of the second. Fernando Tatis Jr. grounded into a force out, but the scoring is not loading for this, which is why I am having some technical difficulties, I will say. So yeah, here, excuse me. So Fernando Tatis Jr. grounded into a force out. Jose Azucar would then score with that to make it 1-0 San Diego, though, which would be nice. Here we go. Sorry, we're back now. That was strange. With the bottom of the first here, we have Jurickson Profar walking to score Xander Bogaerts to make it 1-0 San Diego in the bottom of the first. Moving to the bottom of the second now, we'd have Fernando Tatis Jr. grounding into a force out to score Jose Azucar to make it 2-0 San Diego. Nolan Arenado would then try to get some runs back on the board with a RBI single, scoring Wilson Contreras, making it 2-1. Kyle Higashioka would hit his first home run as a San Diego Padre, making it 3-1 San Diego. Paul Goldschmidt would then ground into a force out, scoring Victor Scott second, making it 3-2, trying to get some insurance back, but it would be no match as they would end up falling to the Padres 3-2. So a nice game here by the Padres, especially their pitching to only hold this dangerous Cardinals lineup to 2 runs. With the Padres pitching now, they did have Joe Musgrove on the mound, who went 6 innings, gave up 5 hits, only 1 earned run, and 7 strikeouts. Now, it's been a rough start to the season for him, but this start was really good, and hopefully he'll continue with it and continue the season really well. So that's all you can really ask for if you are a Padres fan. With the Cardinals, they had Zach Thompson on the mound, 5 innings pitched, 3 earned runs, 4 walks, 5 strikeouts, and 1 home run. The definition of mediocre, I mean, it could have been worse with 3 earned runs, but only 3 earned runs. 3 earned runs in 5 innings is, it's not great. So, yeah, just kind of the definition of an it was It's really all you can say about it, I'd say. Going to our next game, we are going to be having Pirates Nationals. In this game, the Pirates were looking to stay undefeated. In the top of the second, new addition Michael A. Taylor, who was in a video yesterday about players who've been great so far, hit an RBI single, scoring 2, proving my point. He's been great so far as a Pittsburgh Pirate, so really strong outing by him here, making it 2-0 early. Joey Gallo would then hit a solo home run, his first home run as a Washington National, making it 2-1. Luis Garcia Jr. would then double in Eddie Rosario to make it 2-2, tying up the game. C.J. Abrams then hit an RBI single, scoring 2 to make it 4-2 Washington. So a nice job by them to get out front early, even after starting the game off on a losing streak against their former player, Michael A. Taylor, homering against them. Next, In the top of the sixth, Jack Sawinski would hit a solo home run, making it 4-3, trying to get the Pirates back in the game a little bit. But it would be up to no avail, as in the bottom of the sixth, Ildemaro Vargas would hit an RBI double, making it 5-3 Washington, and the Pirates would squander any other opportunity to win this game, and would finally lose their first game of the season, being 5-1. I know Pirates fans are so mad that they're only 5-1. I mean, got to be 6-0, right? So it's been, all kidding aside, it has been a very great start to the season for Pittsburgh. I think they've had a really nice start and, kind of surprised a lot of people. I think a lot of people were counting on them to be an improvement. I personally wasn't. You've heard my reasons all the time now. But, yeah, I think it's been a really strong start to them. They have had a relatively easy schedule, but still, nice job by them to start the season at 5-1. They had Mitch Keller on the mound, recently extended Mitch Keller. He was not great, 5 1/3 innings, 4 earned runs. Not really what you want to see, but I think he'll be better. It wasn't horrible. It was just not great. With the Nationals, they had Trevor Williams on the mound. He went 5 1/3 innings, giving up 2 earned runs. Having a solid start to the season so far with a 3.38 ERA, so been a really valuable piece to this Nationals rotation, and a guy I'm definitely watching going forward. Next game we are going to be talking about is going to be, let me get the game up here. It is going to be Rockies-Cubs. A very exciting series so far as well here. I mean, we almost had a perfect game a few days ago. So, jumping into the bottom of the second here, new Chicago Cub Michael Busch hit a sacrifice fly to score Christopher Morel, making it 1-0 Chicago in the bottom of the second. Miguel Amaya would then hit a sacrifice fly himself to make it 2-0 Chicago. Then Seiya Suzuki would hit a 2 RBI single to make it 4-0 Chicago. So, a really great start by the Cubs to jump out early against this pretty awful Rockies pitching and capitalize. Seiya Suzuki would then hit his second home run of the season, a solo home run to make it 5-0 Chicago. So a really great start to this game for Suzuki, hitting 3 RBIs, and a really great start to the game for the Cubs in general, getting out early. Rockies start to come back though a little bit. Chris Bryant with an RBI single back in Chicago. Nolan Jones would reach on a third base, throwing error by Christopher Morel, making it 5-2. So you're seeing the Rockies just come back in this game just a little bit, step by step. So we'll see what happens next. Miguel Amaya would then hit a RBI single, scoring Nico Horner and Mac Topman to make it 8-2 Chicago. After that, the Rockies would start to come back. Charlie Blackmon hit a RBI double, making it 8-3 Chicago. Jake Cave would then hit an RBI double himself to make it 8-5. Charlie Blackmon would then hit a RBI single to make it 8-7. This is all in the top of the fifth, by the way. And the big blow came with Ezekiel Tovar hitting an RBI double to score Charlie Blackmon, tying the game up at 8-8. A great job by this Rockies team to come back against this Cubs team. I mean, tying the game up after all that is really, really impressive. Now, the Rockies would not end up winning this game, as Seiya Suzuki would reach on a fielder's choice to score Miles Mastrobuoni, and would then make it 9-8 Chicago to win the game. But it doesn't really matter for the Rockies with the situation they're in right now. We all know they're not competing, so just having this nice of a comeback against a good team like the Cubs is a big positive in my opinion, and something that I think they are going to be they're going to look as a positive going forward. For the pitching, the Rockies had Cal Quantrill on the mound, 4 innings pitched, 4 earned runs, 4 walks, 3 strikeouts, 4 earned runs in 4 innings, more walks than strikeouts. Not a good outing. Nothing really else to say there. Has been not great since coming over in the Clevenger trade. First to Cleveland, was not great there, and now has not been great in Colorado. The Cubs had an opener, but Ben Brown would pitch the majority of the game, going 4 innings, giving up only 1 earned run. So a really nice job by Ben Brown in his only second game in the major leagues. So yeah, great job by him to keep it going. The bullpen would be a little rough with guys like Yency Almonte and Hector Neris giving up some runs, but Cubs would end up winning, so it would be no harm, no foul. Final game we'll be talking about today is going to be Dodgers-Giants. Final game in the series of 2 arch rivals. Bottom of the second, the scoring would open up with a Miguel Rojas RBI from a force out, making it 1-0 LA early. After that, we would have Patrick Bailey hitting a solo home run, making it 1-1 San Francisco. Dodgers, obviously. After that, Will Smith with an RBI double in the bottom of the third to make it 2-1 Los Angeles. Then Teoscar Hernandez would continue his strong start to the season as a Dodger, making it 3-1. So really nice job by this Dodgers lineup to capitalize off the early innings and score runs early. Miguel Rojas would hit his second home run as a Dodger this year, making it 4-1. Conforto would then hit a 2 RBI single, making it 4-3. in the top of the sixth, so the Giants are starting to come back a little bit. Then Shohei Ohtani would hit his first home run as a Los Angeles Dodger. Very exciting, of course, making it 5-3. And the Giants would attempt to come back a little with Jorge Soler's second home run as a Giant, but it would be to no avail as the Dodgers would then beat the Giants 5-4. So a nice job by the Dodgers to win this divisional matchup on a good Giants team that has done really well so far. The final game, of course, which happened today, was Tigers-Mets. This was just a disaster of a game. Bottom of the third here, Francisco Alvarez doubled to score in Lindor and Alonso to make it 2-0 New York. Then Brett Beatty, who's had a really, really strong start to the season so far, very surprisingly, made it 3-0 with a RBI single to score Pete Alonso. Top of the sixth, Andy Ibanez would hit a sacrifice fly to Marte to score Parker Meadows, make it a 3-1, so the Tigers get some runs on the board here. A wild pitch by Jake Diekman would then score Gio Urshela. And top of the eighth, the big blow would come with Riley Green tying the game up off Adam Ottavino, making it 3-3, and the Mets blowing another lead. Top of the 11th would be where everything just absolutely crumbled and fell apart. Colt Keith in an RBI double, scoring a run, making it 4-3, and Gio Urshela would hit a RBI single, scoring 2 to make it 6-3 Detroit, and capping off another disgusting, horrible, embarrassing loss by this Mets team. It just cannot happen. It's just been such a bad start to the season, and I really feel for Mets fans, myself, and other Mets fans as well. Just 0-5. I mean, wow, that's so bad. So that is the end of the second segment here. We'll be moving on to our third segment, which is going to be talking about the Miami Marlins and a lot of recent news that has been involving them. There's been a lot of stuff going on with them, so I did want to talk about it, and we'll talk about it after the break. So see you after that. Thanks, and bye.
Looking for